Happy Monday, everybody. I know we're coming to you a little late this week. Thanks for bearing with us. Life gets in the way sometimes, and we aren't always able to record the week before. So just as a reminder, if you're trying to understand what the Meristem Monday practice is, there's an intro video down in the description you can check out for a longer kind of understanding of the picture of this weekly practice. Also, if you have any questions, leave comments. Happy to respond or jump in on anything that you're wondering about. And please rate, subscribe, give us some feedback. It goes a long way to support Meristem and supporting the organization to become more well known in a variety of ways. With that being said, we are in a new month, which means we have a different concept that we're going to be working with. This month's concept is transformation. And so I always like to start talking about a concept, going to what's the dictionary definition of that word. So in this case, the definition is a thorough or a dramatic change in form or appearance. And an example from the natural world that we're kind of very familiar with is the caterpillar to the butterfly, or a tadpole to a frog. So those are real tangible examples of one structure, something alive that had one structure and it's shifting to having another structure. Now, it's not the same in the human being, but we can say or have observation of another person, as we're walking along, or who we know, wow, they've really transformed themselves. And so this week, particular, to get to working with the concept of transformation, is just going to kind of start pondering what is transformation in the human being. It's different than the caterpillar, but there may be elements that we can articulate within ourselves that are like or analogous to the caterpillar. So with that, our practice for this week is presence. So we're really, again, presence is just becoming aware of my inner self and my outer self, and kind of how well they're connected to the present moment and how I'm engaged. And so we're going to become aware of your own inner changes. Notice previous work that is starting to show outwardly. Notice these changes in others. So what's going on internally that's maybe not clear to everybody around or the outer world? What's happening inside? Are there new thoughts, new ideas, evolving shifts and changes that are sticking, that are leading to fundamental kind of reorientation, reorganization within yourself? And then you've been doing work over years, months, days, just to change how you engage with the environment. And so pay attention. Notice what is finally outwardly showing itself from work that you may have done over the course of the year, month, or week that's manifesting itself. And see if you can also start noticing this in others. And so you're just really becoming present to what's going on and how what's going on is moving in an evolutionary, transformative process. The value this week is I communicate, communication. And we're going to work with that value in the following way. How does your inner self communicate with your outer self? What dialogue leads to transformation? So, oftentimes for transformation to occur, something has to shift inwardly, and then that leads to a change. Let's say I want to do more exercise, but I'm having a hard time motivating myself. First off, maybe, I could have an external motivator. Maybe it's going to the gym, signing up for a group, or an internal motivator just saying, hey, I want to get fit. I'm driven to, get more exercise in my life, and I'm going to start on Monday. I get out, I go do that exercise. But in that example, there's a short process of something internally transitioning into external that got me to go do it. And so there was a transition or a communication that happened between my inner self and getting myself going outwardly to manifest that change that I wanted to make. So in this regard, using presence with communication, we're exploring and trying to touch in on what is happening in the dialogue between what's going on inside myself and what's going on outside myself, and how is that manifesting in terms of changes, transformations, or repetitive work that I want to get done. And then become present also to where is it being blocked? Where is what's happening inwardly not translating to some outward manifestation? Or vice versa, where is outward manifestation or work being done not translating into an inner, deeper understanding of something? So this is the concept transformation and the practice presence, and communication working together to start exploring this concept of transformation. And so just going to the infographic to give us a little bit more of a picture, there's kind of some hard observable experiences that we can have in and around things that are observable to help us understand transformation. So, for example, in ancient Greek, it really, coming back to the definition, it's a change, thorough change in appearance. And what's fascinating about history and the word of transformation is it really goes from a more kind of physical manifestation over time to having multiple definitions of both an energetic and a physical change. And so it's interesting historically what was observed transformationally and to where we are now in terms of our holistic understanding of all the areas that can transform themselves. Nature is a beautiful mirror. So we talked a little bit about the butterfly and the caterpillar, the tadpole and the frog. Also a plant growing and going through its whole cycle and then dying and coming back again, or the changing of a leaf. We know that there's oftentimes a delay in something fully coming to manifest after a transformation has occurred. So for example, you can put a seed in the ground, but the time that it takes to come up as a shoot might be a year, might be a day, might be determinant on the environment. And so you never know when that transformation is going to pop and start growing and coming to outer fruition. The analogy of a seed becomes a tree is a transformational picture, but you don't know when that seed is going to start its process. And so once it starts its process, that transformation, that the possibility of transformation that was in that seed kind of then starts its process outwardly versus just kind of being unseen internally within that seed. Growth, an example of the plant, and particularly, we're trying to observe these things and relate them to ourselves in some way. And so there's this kind of cyclical activity that happens from inner self thoughts, intentions, internal dialogue where transformation begins. So we're really talking about transformation starting inwardly, even though there might be external impetuses, which leads to outer self-manifestation. So something that's shifted inwardly now can become something new that I do outwardly, or a way in which I go about something. But it really can only take hold if I stay present in the process to take advantage of what's occurring in the process. And so that's what we're working with this week. So transformation, explore it, get to know it, wonder, get curious about it. And again, do it in small bites. Let's go forward and awaken the possible.